Hey guys, Matt Donald here. People have said that I need to be more peppy for these intros. Like, if I'm really selling, Patreon stuff, I probably should, actually sell it, enthusiastically. So, okay, I guess you guys are gonna get your wish. Subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Matthew Donald. You're gonna get some quality stuff there, some very fun episodes. Every month we talk about pop culture featuring prehistoric animals, and this month I don't have the slightest idea what we're going to talk about because I haven't recorded it, but don't you worry your pretty little head. It'll live up to the exact standards of quality that you expect from a podcaster like Matthew Donald and his Patreon. Oh, link is in the description for where you can sign up. Thank you for your support and have a fantabulous day. I'm gonna go drink some black coffee right now. Maybe some whiskey too.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast as ordinary as the quaternary. My name's Matthew Donald, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by someone who's very extraordinary, and that they're so ordinary that, no, they're extraordinary. Natasha Krech, how are you?
Oh, I'm well.
Oh, that's good. Hey, last time you were on here for this group of episodes, we're going to talk about your new trucking sort of thing. I guess we talked a little bit about it in the other ones, but what's your
mentioned.
How's your progress going with that? I guess?
So
I know you've told me before off air, but
I started trucking in March.
yes.
I got released on my own early May, and trust me, there's a steep learning curve.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I work for a company that specializes in sticking semis where semis don't belong.
Oh really?
In addition to going to warehouses.
Oh, that sounds real fun. Doesn't sound like a hassle at all.
Let's just say in a couple of years, I'm gonna be one of the better drivers on the road.
That'll be nice.
According to what my mother's cousin, who is a trucker, told me.
Oh yeah,
And he's an OTR guy.
They looked at the other truckers and they're like, "Man, you're
So-
gonna be better than them."
So the reason he told me that is there is a marked difference between an OTR driver and a city driver.
Oh,
There's some marked differences that show up once you get experience under your belt.
okay.
City drivers will be able to get into tight docks much easier than an over-the-road driver.
Right. Makes sense.
Because that's all they're doing all day. I still am learning a lot.
But you are. But you're making some good progress.
The rookie stage for a trucker here in the United States lasts about 2 years, give or take.
So
And that's
in March,
from industry professionals.
March 2025, you'll be a master trucker.
No.
A real mother trucker. I'm sure you haven't
Not
heard that
quite.
one before.
Hey, I've heard that one. No, you only get that title after 20 or 30 years, but even those guys are saying they're still learning stuff every day.
March 2045. Around the time of Xenon, the girl of the 21st century. Remember that one? From Disney Channel. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Boom, boom. My supernova girl.
Oh, I don't remember the theme song, but I know
It was
Disney
like this
was
band
putting out.
called Microbe that they were all.
Disney was putting out some weird stuff for quite a while.
Oh, it's a Disney Channel original movie, and yeah, it was great, good stuff. Next year we'll be at the halfway point between when it came out and when it's supposed to take place in 2049, so that's fun. 'Cause it came out in 1999, so
Look at how the Jetsons portrayed the early 2000s.
that's true. Although there's that theory that the Jetsons and the Flintstones are in the same universe, it's just the Flintstones is on the ground.
Oh,
And the Jetsons in the sky. It's like a
I've heard that
post-apocalyptic
one.
nuclear sort of thing, yeah.
I've heard that one, but it's always fun to look at how people portray the future, and then that time period hits.
Well, in the Flintstones, they could have had a beast like a Homotherium, that you might say. And speaking of which,
didn't they have a pet saber-tooth?
they had a pelican that they used as a trash can.
I swear I remember some sort of pet saber-tooth somewhere.
They had a dinosaur named Dino, so like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like whatever. I never got the whole thing when they have the cars, but they just walk on it. There are more efficient ways. I mean, I get it's also a joke, but
I think it is meant to be a joke.
but it's like you could if you're gonna have a car, but obviously no engine, you could have like a log that you like pedal on, like you roll on, and it makes other logs. I'm just saying, the logistics of that just doesn't make sense.
I don't think it's supposed to. It's a cartoon.
No, of course. Also, one episode they were celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, don't ask.
Yeah, okay.
Other than marketing.
Also, they were selling cigarettes at one point, and they had
What
cigarette
cartoon
commercials.
character wasn't?
Yeah, for like the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think... No, it was about the 90s.
Buy these cigarettes.
I think it was the 90s when they started getting the crackdowns on tobacco, because I remember multiple times as a child going out to dinner with my parents
And
and
like
mom
smoking
and dad.
or non-smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I remember. I very much remember when they stopped asking that. Because
Yeah.
there's. Yeah.
Nowadays, you light up a ciggy, you go outside.
Yep, fair enough. Anyways, Homotherium means same beast. I don't know why they called it that.
Are they picking on the crazy cat ladies? Because those people are often awesome.
Well, that's true. But like, no, same, S-A-M-E.
Oh.
Like, so like a homosexual means same, attracted to the same sex.
Ah.
So it's like,
Well, didn't you
or
say it was
homophones means same sounding. So
Well, didn't you say it was found on 5 out of 7
it
continents?
was,
earlier?
yeah. I'll get. So it was a machairodont.
So maybe that's
It's
why
like,
they
this is
use
the
it.
same cat. This is the same beast that we found over there.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
That would make
yeah,
sense.
I get that. Is a machairodontid felid, a group of cats that includes the saber-toothed cats, but it has no living representatives. Because all modern cats are either felids or felines or pantherines, I think. So, because like the pantherines are the big cats, with the exception of mountain lions, and cheetahs, I believe those are felines.
We'd have to find a biologist to check our taxonomy.
I've looked this up before, I think. I don't know. Because, like, a feline and felid are two different things. Like lions are not felines. So they're felids, but they're not felines. They are cats, but not, yeah. Anyways. All right,
But true, there are no modern descendants of the saber-toothed cats around.
Some people say, like, oh, the cloud leopard, because it has
people
big
do
teeth.
try that
big
one.
teeth. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still not the same type. It's
It
still a
does-
pantherine.
It does have the biggest tooth
Yeah,
to
but that
skull
doesn't-
ratio, but it's not.
That's convergent evolution.
That's
at work.
convergent evolution.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
that happens all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Size 6 to 7 feet, /1.8 to 2.2 meters long, 420 pounds or 190 kilograms. Twas a carnivore like all cats. Time early Pliocene to early Holocene, 4 million to 12,000 years ago. The sheer amount of prehistoric creatures we lost just as the Ice Age ended and agriculture started becoming a thing is crazy, man.
It really is.
I blame the agriculturalists. Those damn farmers killed all the Ice Age megafauna. And you truckers have the gall to deliver supplies to them.
Oh, all the time.
Ah, no, how dare you!
Oh, the other day I delivered, 3,000 pounds of corrosives?
Oh, that's cool.
Corrosives and flammable?
Oh, wow. So the farmers could destroy more land, destroy more megafauna? No, I don't know.
Probably for
Farmers
cleaning.
are fine. They're fine. I like a lot of stuff.
I've delivered to a lot of people with land. I often envy them because they have beautiful views.
I'd be fine with it as long as there's internet. I'd be fine with anywhere as long as there's internet. Well, also in Uber Eats.
Yeah, good luck getting somebody to go out to the middle of Walsenburg.
Yeah, no, that might be a bit far. I tip them well. Anyways.
You might want to have them do your grocery shopping then at that point too.
Yeah, at this point, Instacarts is a thing. Gig work is becoming so big now, thanks to.
Yeah, half of them need to have a commercial license.
Oh, I believe that.
The way they drive.
Yeah.
And I will not apologize for offending any Uber drivers
Oh
in
no,
the
I
audience.
used to be an Uber driver, but yeah, so don't worry.
I will not apologize, but half of them need a commercial
for
license
sure.
and to be more regulated.
Location: Africa, Europe, Asia, North America, and South America. Like I said, 5 of the 7 continents.
Very widespread.
And this is when the continents were basically the same as today, too, which is impressive. Although back then the lower sea levels of the Ice Age helped tremendously with spreading around.
Oh yeah, that would have very much done them a favor.
Like that's probably how the Aborigines got to the Australia. They walked across from when Indonesia was just a thing of land.
Probably.
Yeah. So.
And then the wide selection of prey, no wonder the population thrived.
Absolutely. Described in 1890 pop culture appearances, apparently the bigger and fatter saber-toothed cat in the pack of sabers in the first Ice Age movie was a Homotherium.
Huh.
It's nice that the pack had a collection of species rather than just Smilodon. They're inclusive like that. It was also in the TV documentaries Monsters We Met, Prehistoric, and Age of Big Cats. So here's a fun fact. There were a ton of different prehistoric animals, and every standard creature that you can think of is just one of many different representatives of that group. Like woolly mammoths, you say? You might be referring to the European one, but what about the Columbian mammoth? Or other elephants like Paleoloxodon? Or Triceratops, you say? There are many different horned dinosaurs, some of which had the same 3 horns and frills, like Chasmosaurus and Torosaurus. And to bring the point of the episode home, saber-toothed cats, you're probably thinking of Smilodon, specifically Smilodon fatalis, the North American variant, but there are plenty of other saber-toothed cats, like Smilodon populator from South America, which is the one that sounds like it got real busy. And then there's also Dinofelis, the awesome-sounding Xenosmilus, and there's also one, I crap you not, that's literally just called Yoshi.
Did they run out of ideas?
There was a saber-toothed cat called Yoshi. There were actually several species of Yoshi, such as Yoshi Garvinsky, Yoshi Fei, Yoshi Miter, and Yoshi Yongdingensis.
Again, did they run out of ideas?
Apparently, the paleontologist who described it said it was named after their cat.
Okay.
That's how they got around the trademark, I presume, because they better watch out, because Nintendo's lawyers are freaking scary. Second to the Disney's lawyers.
Yeah, the horror stories about them, but still, did they run out of ideas?
Yoshi, it's not even a Japanese one. It's from the Balkans.
At least give it something Balkan sounding.
It's like, according to my Slavic girlfriend, a lot of people from Slavic insult, including like the Balkans area, whenever they insult someone, they insult your mother or dogs. It's like you can kiss your ass like your dead dog mother in hell.
So in other words, they're very creative with their insults.
Oh, absolutely.
I like it.
there's so many good insults like, man, you are impossible to underestimate. That's a good one. I can't recall the time I didn't know you, but boy, would I like to, or something.
One of my favorites when I drove public transit was, I've been called worse by Better Than You.
That is pretty good. That does make me feel.
It's simple, it's vicious, not a single swear word.
Oh, there's some good insults
and
without
you
swear.
can you're essentially calling somebody a piece of trash
Absolutely.
without outright calling them a piece of trash.
Oh, there's some great insults that don't involve swear words, but none of them come into my head right now. Anyways, so, you want saber-toothed cat, you have Smilodon, Xenosmilus, Yoshi, and Homotherium. This guy means same beast, which you said, might be because they found it from all different parts of the world. Like, it's the same one. That's the only reason I can think of why it's called that. Homotherium was one of the most successful of its family, though, like we said, with fossils found on 5 different continents, with a temporal range of 5 billion years.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so...
that tells you a lot about that environment.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that made it different from Smilodon was its shorter sabers, but it also had evidence that it was more of a pursuit hunter. Smilodon was more of an ambush predator. So think of a tiger versus a lion, for instance.
I mean, yeah, a lion is... Well, the lionesses are going to be the ones chasing the males.
Yeah, well, the males just sit on their asses and do nothing, just yawn.
Yeah. Although tigers are pretty darn successful ambush hunters.
They are, but that's the thing, ambush hunters, rather than, they don't pursue too much. And also, that's because they're not adaptable because of the environment. Tigers live in jungles, just lions live in savannas, so...
True, although there are some tigers that live in Siberia, so don't
I guess it's true, but it's still forests, right?
It's still forests.
Yeah, still, snowy forests. And I guess there's some more sparse areas that tigers might be able to run in, so, And also, there's that old saying, lions are the king of the jungle, even though they don't live in jungles. I don't know why people think lions are jungle animals. Like, George the Jungle, there's a lion there. What's the lion doing there in the jungle?
Well, George of the Jungle's pretty old, Tarzan's pretty old.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Because I think, in the book of Tarzan, Sabor, the leopard that he faced, in the book was a lion.
Would have to check that, but I know that some of the... Because I, once upon a time, had some reprints of some old Tarzan comics, and yeah, there were lions in that jungle.
Yeah, well, and also the gorillas weren't gorillas, because they didn't know about gorillas back then, I don't think. They were like cryptids.
Well.
They were like a fictional species called, Mangili or something.
They probably didn't understand them as well.
Yeah, so...
I mean, think about our understanding and how it's grown from, say, even 1850 to now.
Oh, absolutely.
The leaps and bounds that have happened.
Absolutely. And also, in the book, tragically as well, there was no Phil Collins soundtrack.
Yeah.
So... oh, man. Son of man. I don't know what I was thinking of. Anyways, so, people say that that Smilodons are saber-toothed tigers, and that's not the technical term, because they weren't tigers, although to be fair, so many things are called things that they aren't anyways.
True. Wasn't a Smilodon more equivalent to a lion?
Yeah.
More of a wrestler type?
Well, I guess, because it was kind of like a tiger, though, is what I'm saying, is that it was an ambush predator rather than a pursuit hunter, and this was more like a lion, Homotherium. Or like a cheetah, too, because, like, one of the things, too, it had slender limbs, reduced claws, a sloping back, and a large visual cortex like a cheetah that implied it relied on vision to hunt.
Ah.
So also that means it was diurnal, unlike a lot of cats who are nocturnal. But so yeah, this is basically a saber-toothed lion or saber-toothed cheetah. That's pretty
probably
cool.
it would be even fair to say a saber-toothed mountain lion.
Yeah, saber-toothed mountain lion or leopard or something.
Although mountain lions are an extremely successful predator with an extremely high hit rate.
Oh yeah, because like most predators fail their hunts 9 out of 10 times, right? But yeah.
Mountain lions are almost the opposite.
Oh wow.
Because of their capabilities in the Rocky Mountains. Now, that doesn't mean you should fear the mountain lion.
I'd be a little afraid personally, but
There's probably been lots of times I've backpacked and they've been nearby.
well, I mean, the only times there was a video I saw of one really trying to like rush towards someone. That was because they've speculated from watching the video that her cubs were
Oh
nearby.
yes, that video. I've seen it as well, and
Yeah,
every
'cause, like,
wildlife
that's
biologist
unusual behavior. Like
every
they're not
wild-
usually like that.
yeah, every wildlife biologist that was commenting was consistently saying that was defensive behavior. There were cubs nearby. If that mountain lion had wanted to eat that human would have been dinner.
Right.
No questions.
There were reports at one point when I was taking care of my parents' house in Highlands Ranch that there was a mountain lion in the area. Someone had found. Sometimes they wander down there on occasion.
Oh, yeah, they wander into Boulder regularly.
Oh yeah, but like, and so I took my parents' dog out because I was house sitting for them, and it was at night, and he came running in, and he wouldn't go back outside. I don't know if the mountain lion was in my backyard, but he surely smelled something weird, and I'm thinking he smelled that mountain lion.
Could have been.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily was in the backyard, but dogs have such powerful senses of smell. He could have been several blocks away, and the dog's instincts were like danger.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, they're beautiful creatures.
They are.
I would love to see one in the wild. Haven't yet, but from a distance.
why do they have so many different names?
Who knows?
I mean, like, a lot of animals have different names based on, like, different cultures, I guess, and that's kind of what the same thing is happening here. But there's mountain lions, there's cougars, pumas, trying to think of other examples.
those are the big three that
The big three, yeah. Like, yeah. Panthers are they're sometimes called panthers.
Nope. There's a legitimate species called the Florida panther down in
But
Florida.
isn't it also related to mountain lions?
Different species.
Right, because, like, what people consider a black panther isn't really a panther, it's a leopard.
Usually,
Right.
well, it's any melanistic cat.
Yeah, so, like... Well, because, like, the Black Panther, if it was in Africa...
Well,
like,
then
that'd
it would have been a leopard.
Yeah, or, like, Bagheera from the Jungle Book. That'd also be a leopard, yeah. So,
But you can
'cause
get
that's
black
India.
jaguars in South America.
Yeah, there are
You
black...
could
it
get
is-
a solid black mountain lion here in North America.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of times in fiction, jaguars are often depicted... Like in The Emperor's New Groove, for
Yeah.
instance. That classic documentary. The
Documentary.
jaguars in that are presented as solid black, so...
So
I
it's
guess probably
just-
because it's easier to animate than all those
Probably.
spots.
Yeah.
101 Dalmatians learned that the hard way. They had to invent a whole new animation technique in the 60s to make that.
That does not surprise me.
Anyways, alright. But yeah, so Homotherium, it probably preyed on a bunch of different creatures. Most creatures, probably ones that we have today, like zebras and like antelopes and so also maybe some camels, like those prehistoric camels. And maybe some humans, too. I don't know. Early hominids.
Probably.
Although, a lot of times, the ones that the early hominids were preyed on usually were leopards, I think.
I mean,
I think
cats are opportunistic hunters.
That's
They're
true.
patient. They stalk.
Yeah.
If they see an opening worth it,
Yeah.
they go for it.
Actually, the reason why, biologically speaking, why some people are morning people and some people are night owls comes from this time period when some of us were naturally disposed to, like, we'll watch out at night for the leopards while the rest of the tribe sleeps.
Which makes sense.
So a lot of things came from the way we evolved back in the day. Like, learning about the origin of humanity and evolution in general really makes you understand a lot about the world.
It really does.
Like, 'cause one of the things I learned recently, you know why humans are more susceptible to clickbait, especially like negative clickbait?
Huh.
It has to do with how we evolved. This is a true story. This is like, if you ever see like a lot of people being like doomers, like, oh, everything's gonna be terrible, everything's going to hell, which there are some legitimate concerns, of course, about the world, but it's not nearly as bad as everyone says. Again, like, there's a lot of legitimate concerns, but a lot of people are like, immediately go to the bad stuff. It's because when we were hunter-gatherers, there'd be people that would like go to a new valley to look for food.
And they would never come back.
Well, they'd never come back, or it'd be more like they'd see an animal like there'd be a bear in this new place, and there were two types of reactions. There were people being like, oh, look at this wonderful new creature. Like, wow, this is so cool to see this wonderful new creature. And then there was the other group that really tensed up, like, you gotta get out of here, man. Like, which one was more likely to survive? The second group. So, the being predisposed to negative feedback rather than positive, that trait continued.
That would make some sense,
And
actually.
hence, Fox News.
Nah, that's its own kind of thinking. You need a psychologist for that.
That's true. Anyways, let's rate Homotherium 1 out of 65 million. I'm gonna rate it like 55 million. I think it's cool.
I think it deserves that.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a
it's
solid creature.
Don't know why-
5 continents.
Don't know why it's depicted as bulkier in Ice Age rather when it seems like it was more slender, but it's animated.
It's animated.
Animators. God, some of the crazy stuff that series went on later.
I barely remember the first 2.
Did you see when Blue Sky Studio ended though? They released that short of the squirrel finally getting his acorn.
No, I don't think I did.
And because like Blue Sky, like Disney shut it down, right?
I think I lost interest in Ice Age after the
Oh no,
second
for
one.
sure. But this was very somber. This is just the 30 second. I'll show it to you. It's like called The End. It's the last project Blue Sky ever did after Disney shut it down. Because when Disney bought Fox, they had a lot and they shut down Blue Sky, which I guess because they thought it wouldn't compete with its own in-house sort of thing, and also it makes sense because the Ice Age series kind of died, it kind of crashed and burned, and then like none of the new stuff were really getting much attention. So I get the logic. Apparently, from what I've heard, almost all the animators were redistributed into other Disney sort of things. So that's good. They did, not very few people were fired. But when Blue Sky, the last few days in the studio, they came together for one final shot, and it's Scrat finally getting the acorn. And it's
Nice.
not treated like Hallelujah or anything. It's like, it's kind of somber.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, he got this. But then like it's, I'll show it to you. It's because it's sad because like the company is over, I guess. But like at least there's this closure in their own way. So, anyways, all right. Well, that's it for this week. If you want to get hold of the show, you can contact me at paleobitespodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram at paleobitespodcast, and on Twitter at paleobitespod. I have to remember which one's pod and which one's podcast. Twitter is pod. Everything else is podcast. If they want to find you, you can find you at NK_arts and crafts.
Yes, on Instagram.
Yes, on Instagram. You got some good stuff there. You also did my books. Well, no, you didn't do. I did my books. You drew the chapter illustrations of my books, the Megazoic books, available for print and Kindle. Obviously, no Homotherium in it because not a dinosaur. Bit later. All right. Well, that's it for this week. It's the end of episode of Paleobites.
Just play some lion noises, would you?
That was a lion farting. I'm sure they did that. Anyways, bye. All right. Now we can take